Well, it's week 6 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware, and I'm joined right now by Nightfall from Team Fusion. No, I'm just kidding. Here with Youngbin, who some folks might remember from your time. When were you on Team Liquid?
Oh my God, 2016, 15. It was so long time ago.
Yes.
Like,
Well, if you don't remember, I'm glad I don't feel as bad for not remembering the exact time.
I don't think anyone will.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yes. But you ended up being, and you've been continued to be in the scene. I think doing collegiate and stuff for a while. But you are in players as Nightfall, the jungler for Team Fugitive.
Fugitive, yes.
Yes. What has the experience, like, how did that end up happening? Because I'm very fascinated to learn how a pro player goes to playing a fictional version of an LCS pro player.
Right?
Yes.
Who would have guessed? Well, so as some people might know that I went to UCI, right? And then I graduated from UCI and I was trying to become like a financial expert. So I was studying for some certificate. And Lee Berry, he's one of the esport agent. I don't know if anyone knows, but Barry Lee. He suddenly called me one day and he was like, hey, there is a show coming up about League. Do you want to audition for it? And I auditioned for it. And Tony really liked it, the director of the players. And he invited me to his house. We did some kind of camera check and on scene and all that. And that's how I got in.
Awesome.
They just loved it.
So you actually went to their house to audition?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I sent the self-tape.
Okay.
And they really liked it. And usually they do a callback on a Zoom where get to meet each other and stuff.
Yeah.
But because we live so close and my self-tape wasn't that great because I'm not an actor, right? I have no knowledge about the process of how to send the self-tapes. So I think that's why Tony invited me. He never told me the reason, the exact reason for it.
So one of the fascinating things to me about this is that pro players have a rap for being terrible actors. Like, there's so many moments where, like, for a sponsor thing or, I don't know, like just a skit or something like that, they're forced to act, and everybody's always like, oh my God, this acting's so bad. So how was it that you managed, because I think you're quite good in the show.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
What was this, did you take lessons? Do you think you're just better than all the other pro players at it naturally?
I think that's part of it. That's probably one of the main reasons.
Yes.
But I think it's because the setup is like a documentary, right? Pretty much. And I had the experience of being on a documentary when I was in UCI.
Yeah.
With the ESPN did a documentary about UCI, which was a Good Game was the title.
Gotcha.
So I was familiar with the setup. That's one thing. And I think Nightfall has a lot of common ground with me. Like, he's like import player who came. I'm not an import, but I'm from Korea and all that. So it was really easy for me to like kind of get into the character. But at the same time, because I'm not an actor and this is a legitimate show, right?
Yes.
So I didn't want to be a burden for the show. So I really like read the script every single day from episode 1 to 10 to prep it. And Tony and Dan did an absolute good job on directing it on a set. Yeah. So that's helped a lot.
What was it like for you playing against some of these other actors, right? Like Misha Brooks, who plays Cream Cheese.
Yes.
Incredibly talented from what I've seen.
So good, yes.
And so you're playing opposite him in all these scenes, and some of them are quite goofy. and so
Just going
yes. So what was it like for you sort of acting across from these other professional actors?
I think there is a process of a thing called script reading before we start shooting the show. It's so that everyone is like familiar with the storyline and all that thing. So when that was my first time seeing Misha actually acting, sort of. Yeah. And I was like fascinated about it, like everything what he did. Everyone else was really absolutely great acting. So, but after that, I just focused on my craft and my work, and then because, as I said, I didn't want it to be the burden of the show. When there was a cue sign for the scene, everything just faded away. I was just in the moment. Yeah. I think that helped a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any fun stories from set that you can share?
Yes.
I'm sure there's some you can't share, but anything in particular?
So, I'll just share it.
Sure.
So I always had this fantasy with Misha that he's such a good actor from the the script reading and all that.
Yeah.
In episode 1, there was a moment where Misha, Cream Cheese, punches the wall. I think it's episode 2 on 1,
episode
somewhere
2,
around
I think,
there.
Yeah.
And have you heard the news where he actually broke the hand and all
I did hear
that?
this, but I don't know if everybody else has.
So he actually broke his hand on the set. He actually hit the stud. But I didn't know at that time, right? So I was like, oh my god, his acting is such a like. That's how you have to act to become an actor.
Yes.
And then after that, I figured out that a medical doctor suddenly came to the set, and then she figured out, oh, it's actually broken a little bit. We gotta send it to the hospital and all that. So that's one of the fun story about it.
Yeah, I love that. A throwback to the Lord of the Rings story with Aragorn kicking the helmet. Yes,
Yeah.
very similar. Either way, no, I just wanted to also give you the chance to say anything that you want to any of the fans out there who've seen your performance and players, maybe haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Anything to anybody out there.
Well, hopefully everyone is liking it. I mean, so far the feedback seems like everyone liked it, whoever watched it, and hopefully, the show gets picked up more with the general audience and all that stuff. Because I think in general the show is really good and
Yeah.
it really appeals to a lot of people because it's not only about esport, it's also about like the love story and like the human interaction and all that.
Yeah.
Right. So I really hope that everyone has a chance to watch it, and hopefully it gets picked up for season 2.
Yeah. Hopefully season 2. We'd love to see it. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Youngbin,
Travis.
for the interview. Great to talk to you again
Yes.
after a couple of years. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm out front of the LCS. I'm sitting down because it's a hot day in Los Angeles, and I need to keep cool. And you know what else needs to be cool? Your computer, which is why you should check out Alienware, because they've got some of the best cooling tech in the biz for both desktops and notebooks so that your computer can stay cool while you're staying cool by having an Alienware, which is also cool, and watching this content that is also cool. And do you ever just say a word so often, so many times that it starts to lose, there's like significance. It's like starts to sound weird in your mouth, and like there's a word for that. And anyway, there's a link in the description below. Check it out.